What if just one piece of tech could totally reshape our cities, our homes, and get this, even how long we live? Today, we're diving into this pretty wild vision where Tesla's full self-driving does exactly that. It creates this ripple effect that changes, well, pretty much everything.
You know, what we're looking at today really pushes us to think bigger than just, oh cool, a better car. It asks this really fundamental question. Are we just tweaking the automobile, or are we about to kick off a revolution that changes how we live, how we work, and maybe even how long we get to do it all?
Okay, so to even begin to wrap our heads around this future, we got to start with the key that unlocks the whole thing, the robotaxi. And let's be super clear here. This isn't just a self-driving car. No way. It's a concept that completely flips the script on the economics and the pure convenience of getting from point A to point B.
All right, let's dive into that first ripple. This is the change that really sets everything else in motion. It's this idea that robo-taxis are going to become as common and, get this, as cheap as taking public transport.
And this is the trigger, a massive, massive price drop. The core idea here is that once it's actually cheaper to just call up a robotaxi than it is to hop on the bus, well, the way we think about travel just completely changes. It becomes the new default, you know? The easy choice. And what's really fascinating here is how this completely reframes your commute, right? It's no longer that wasted time you're just stuck in traffic fuming. Instead, it becomes this extension of your office or your living room. You can actually work, you could read a book, watch a movie, or just chill out. That time you get back, that is the first huge domino to fall. So, let's follow that domino. Let's look at the first huge consequence and see how this thing starts to build. Because if your commute is suddenly not a factor, what happens to the value of where you live? Well, it kicks off a total revolution in real estate. And this, right here, just lays out that predicted shift perfectly. I mean, for decades, valuable property meant being close to stuff, right? A train station, the city center. But in this robo-taxi world, that logic gets flipped on its head. Value shifts from location, location, location to space, privacy, and your quality of life, no matter how far out you decide to live. So, just to be crystal clear, we are not talking about some minor little market adjustment here. This is presented as a total, complete paradigm shift. The very rules that have defined real estate value for like a century, they could be completely thrown out the window. And this new reality, it doesn't stop there. It also hits another huge pillar of real estate value, education. Think about it. If AI development means you can get a world-class education from literally anywhere, then that massive premium people pay to live in a so-called good school district, poof, it could just evaporate. And that just further decentralizes where we all choose to live. Okay, so let's check out the second ripple, because this is where things get really visual. The physical transformation of our cities. I mean, if we're all moving differently and living in different places, the very shape of our cities has to change, right? Just take a second and really imagine this. Our cities, but without parking lots. It sounds crazy, but in most cities, something like a third of the land is just for parking cars. But robo-taxis, they don't need to park. They just drop you off and they're on their way to the next person. Can you imagine the sheer amount of prime real estate that frees up when all these seas of asphalt just aren't needed anymore? And this is what could fill that void. I mean, look at this. Those endless seas of asphalt could become these vibrant community hubs. We could reclaim all that space for people. We could transform these concrete jungles into green spaces, productive areas, places to just hang out. And the benefits here, they go way beyond just getting more space. With a fleet of all-electric robo-taxis, the air quality in city centers could get so much better. I mean, potentially even cleaner than the countryside around it. And get this, the source also predicts that with every single car acting as a moving security camera, our cities could become a whole lot safer too. But maybe the most profound impact of all is this one. If you take human error almost completely out of the driving equation, the prediction is that traffic fatalities, well, they could drop to nearly zero. They would just become this tragic thing of the past. The number of lives that would be saved, it's just staggering to think about. Okay, so this brings us to the final, and honestly the most dramatic ripple. The argument here is that the kind of AI you need to solve something as complex as self-driving, well, it's not just going to stop with cars. That same intelligence could ripple out and redefine life itself. The argument goes like this. An AI that's smart enough to navigate a chaotic city is probably also smart enough to navigate human biology.
So it won't just optimize traffic, it's going to optimize us. We're talking personalized healthcare, AI-verified nutritional plans, like, for example, low-carb, high-fat diets, and all this tech could lead to a massive increase in not just how long we live, but how healthy we are.
And all of this leads to a pretty audacious new target for the human lifespan, 120 years. And the real emphasis here isn't just on living longer, it's about living healthier for way longer, extending what they call our health span.
Think about what that means. A 120-year life just completely redefines the human experience. As you see here, it's not a single journey anymore. It's more like a series of different lives, all packed into one lifetime. You could have multiple careers, your relationships might evolve differently, and you could actually live to meet your great-great-grandchildren. It's wild.
And that really brings us to the final thought here. This whole technological shift, which all starts with a simple robotaxi, isn't really just about cars or real estate. It's about potentially rewriting the entire human blueprint. And it forces us to ask a really profound question. If you were suddenly given all that extra time, what would your life even look like?